has a big one. Motorized. Gas powered? I don't know. Hey party people, welcome back to So Square I'm Cubed. I'm Jamie. Hello. Today, I wanted to give you guys a story time about those plumbing issues that I brought up in my speedy laundry clean and life updates video. Do you know when something just goes so wrong that you just have to keep talking about it until you no longer have those bad vibes inside of you? That is me and this plumbing issue. I have pretty much exhausted the topic to death to everybody in my real life, so now I'm gonna exhaust the topic to death with you. Let's get into the plumbing issue so I can just slowly drag you down into my rabbit hole of insanity. Let me set the scene for you. Our apartment is part of a very old building. I think these were built in the 70s or 80s. That is my best guess. When our landlords bought this building, I don't think they had where they go in and they plan out okay, here are the plumbing lines, here's this, and I don't think they had any of the plumbing or electrical updated. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are 40-year-old homes with original plumbing and electrical that I'm sure are perfectly fine. Our apartment's got some weird shit, and I'm gonna get into it. We've had some plumbing issues for a little while. Ever since next door there was an empty lot, there are now 2 houses there, and there are about to be 3 houses because they're building another one. That put a lot of strain, I think, on the sewer system, but we had always attributed our plumbing issues to that house because before that house was built, we never had any. Once that house was built, issue after issue after issue. So that's what we originally thought the problem was, and that might still be the full problem, but not this time. Not this time. Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. We're taking a shower. The shower starts to drain slowly. We attribute it to oh, this is happening because that house was built, because while the shower is draining slowly, air bubbles are coming up through the toilet. And we're okay, either there's a clog or, something. And I have long hair. It's not impossible for my hair to fall down the drain and clog the drain, but we do have hair catchers in our tub for that reason. We're okay, whatever, it's not a problem. We've had this before, 3 months before this, we had an issue with our toilet draining slowly and our shower draining slowly. And the way we fixed it at that point was just take moderately hot water and pour it in the toilet and wait for it to drain, and then keep doing that because it's supposed to dissolve whatever organic materials are clogging things. That is what we tried to do, and it didn't work. The next day, Wednesday, May 24th, the toilet starts having trouble flushing. It was already having a little trouble, but this time it's fully backing up and taking hours to drain back down. And when it drains back down, it drains almost empty. Again, I'm all right, let's just do the hot water trick. It worked before, it'll work again. So we do the hot water trick, takes hours. Pour more, it takes hours. And the first time we ever did the hot water trick, 3-4 months before this, it worked after one go. This time, we're keeping it going and nothing's happening. I'm still optimistic that it'll be fine if we just let it sit. I'm never an optimistic person. If ever in a situation I am optimistic, that situation is already irreparable. Just fucking give up, try again, throw it in the garbage. The next day, Thursday, May 25th, our shower backs up. Oh, that's not a problem. Our shower's been backed up before. And then our toilet backs up. Oh, that's not a problem. Our toilet's been backed up before. It's fine. And then our toilet backs up into our shower with organic material in it still. So, finally, we talked to our landlords and we're hey, you know how we said we probably didn't need a plumber? Well, now we actually really need a plumber. Because it's holiday weekend, a plumber is hard to find. On Friday the 26th, our landlords get back to us, hey, a plumber will be out between, it was 3 and 4, I think was the time frame. I don't really remember. They were supposed to show up. We waited for them to show up. Our toilet, still fully inoperable at this point. So we have now kind of gone 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 days without working plumbing, right? We were well and truly, pun intended, shit out of luck. Really, we were just running back and forth to Sean's dad's house to use the bathroom, but it was frustrating because this is Memorial Day weekend. We were supposed to be having a lot of fun. We had a lot of plans. We wait for the plumber. Plumber never shows. So we thought, okay, maybe they'll come the next day. Well, Saturday the 27th, we're still not really sure if a plumber is going to show up or not, but we have plans to hang out with our friends at their apartment. Like, that's it. Like, once we're out of here, we're out of here. We're not coming back to let a plumber in. It didn't end up mattering because the plumber never showed up anyway. So, you still can't flush the toilet without it immediately backing into the shower, and gross. Again, don't want that. Sunday, the 28th of May. We went with a company. And as well known as this company is, I would love to blast them across the internet and say, hey, you guys fucked up. But they did eventually make it right by us. And also, they spoke with our landlords and not us. So I don't actually know what the problem is that they couldn't get fixed on the back end. So I don't want to blast them. All I will say though is before you hire a plumber, very much so, read reviews. I'm gonna get off my soapbox and get back to the plumbing problem. So a plumber finally came out. He came out at 7 o'clock, and this is the plumbing service, by the way. He's in the bathroom for like an hour, and he's just running this machine. It's like an industrial sized auger. Like, you know, a drain snake? He has a big one. Motorized. Gas powered? I don't know. And he's running it, and you can hear it running, and we're like, okay, something's gonna get done. Yeah. And he stops running it. And then he starts running it again, and then he stops, and then he starts, and then he stops, and stops, and starts, and blah, blah, blah. We've never had plumbing services before. I don't know if this is how this is supposed to go, but something ain't right. Guy comes into us, we're sitting in the living room, he goes, I'm gonna call my buddy. I'm gonna have him come help me because I should have been able to break down the clog by now, and I can't. And I'm like, okay, optimistic, yet again. If I'm ever optimistic, we are up shit creek without a paddle, and somebody needs to start panicking, okay? And by the way, to get the industrial like drain snake into the toilet, you can't just like send that through the toilet itself. They had to take the toilet up, off, and put it in our shower. His buddy finally comes, and I can hear them talking, and one of them says the word stuck. Not great. They're running the motor backwards to try and like reverse the auger back out of the fucking toilet, and it's not going anywhere. I was like, I bet they're gonna come in here and they're gonna tell us that they couldn't break the clog and that's gonna be it, and they're gonna put the toilet back. No, they couldn't break the clog, but they also couldn't get their drain snake out. So they cut it. And they took all their tools out, but they left us with 2 to 3 feet of industrial auger wire sticking out of our toilet hole. I don't know what that thing is called, but I'm gonna call it a toilet hole because it's a hole where the toilet goes. So now I don't have a toilet, I don't have a shower, and also they had to cut off the water to the entire apartment because the like shut off valve for the toilet, something was broken there. It wasn't actually shutting the water off. So we're still going back and forth to Sean's dad's house to sleep, shower, brush teeth, get a drink of water, do everything basically. Monday is Memorial Day. We were supposed to be enjoying our long weekend. We had so many projects planned. We can't literally do anything because we're trying to wait for a technician to come by and for all this stuff. A technician comes by from the same plumbing service from the night before. He comes out with a camera. He tries to find where the wire is stuck. I guess the camera sends off like an RF ping or something because he's walking around with like what looks like a metal detector but not, and he's trying to find like the signal from the camera. He goes around the back of the apartment, can't find it, goes around the front of the apartment, can't find it. He can't find where the wire is stuck. He also can't find a clog on his camera. He sees no clog, like everything is clear, but he also can't see the wire. And he's like, all right, well, someone's gonna have to come out here and dig. I'll tell property management, and you guys, you know, we'll try and keep you in the loop. And then he said he was going to come back and give us an update based on what property management said, but he never came back. He just left. So cool, I guess. After he had left, the landlords kind of like updated us, and I left a review on Trustpilot and a review on this company's website being like, hey, this shit is fucked up. And they had their manager of safety contact me. And I kind of went off on her. I was like, I don't know how much y'all are planning to charge my landlords, but I will tell you, they're not the ones who have to go without plumbing for over a week. And I'm just telling her, I'm like, I don't know what you're charging them, but it doesn't matter because this was your technician's fuck up. Falling back from that, y'all are the ones not training your technicians to do what they're supposed to do. She wasn't happy about it. That's fine. I don't give a shit about your feelings. I'm going through some shit right now. The next day, Tuesday, the landlords send out another plumber that they have contacted. It's not a service, it's like just a guy. And we were trying to find where our bathroom connected to the pipe. And this is where things start making a whole lot more sense, because we can't find where that pipe is connected to our bathroom at all. We dug out the entire front fucking yard. We started digging up the neighbor's fucking yard. Can't fucking find it. When these apartments were built, I think originally it was a house on this side of the courtyard and a house on that side of the courtyard. At some point, those houses got turned into units. Instead of putting each individual bathroom out to the main, like, intake or outtake or whatever, they all hooked it up to the ones at the ends. What happened, we found out later, the auger wire got stuck at the last apartment on our side, and when the camera went through, it hit the auger wire and turned and went out to the outtake all the way down to the other apartment on the end. The plumber that day figured out what was going on. He was like, all right, this is fucking weird and blah, blah, blah. And they set it up so that now each individual apartment has their own like access point to that main line, because originally only the apartments at the ends had it. So that plumber was great, and he was like, no, y'all really need to come get somebody out here, get those plumbing services guys back out here, because they really messed up and we can't find the wire. We've dug, we've opened lines, we can't find the wire. The next day, the original technician who came out with the camera came back, and our landlords, bless us, gave us the keys to the apartment next door. The technician is still trying to figure out, like, where is this damn auger? And he goes, all right, let's try and put the camera through the toilet in the apartment next door. And lo and behold, when we get into that apartment next door, rather when Sean, because he relayed all this to me after the fact, he sees a thick wire, a thick gauge looking wire. And he goes, oh, that's funny. It looks like the one in our apartment. They get to the bathroom. The toilet in our neighbor's apartment is totally broken, a little bit of water on the floor, absolutely like gonzo. And sticking out of our neighbor's toilet happens to be the other end of the auger wire that was sticking out of our toilet. So the technician pulls the auger wire out from our neighbor's toilet. They go and get our neighbor a new toilet. They put our toilet back on. They clean up a little bit. And this whole mess is solved. Ha! Just kidding. This whole mess is not solved. This is a whole month later. It is July 5th. And we once again had this same problem with our toilet of it's not draining. And I'm really upset by it because our landlord got somebody out here, and it's the same guy as before, the like singular plumber who came out here, not the company. I was a ride or die for him last time. He was great. He was perfectly great. And then this time he was like, oh, common sense, you should just plunger it more and blah, 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 and all this shit. And like, dude, I plunged the shit out of that toilet to the point where there was, once again, raw sewage coming up in my shower, like in my tub. So I don't know what more I could have done at that point. Then, after all of this, hours later, my landlord texts me and he's like, first of all, don't flush anything except for toilet paper down. And also be very conscious of how much you're flushing, because you're flushing too much. So I messaged him back and I was like, hey, two things. We don't use a lot, number one. Number two, we don't flush anything but toilet paper. I have flushable wipes, but I don't use them for that. I use them as like little deodorant wipes, so they don't need to be flushed. So I just throw them away in a trash can. So he just had like this attitude with me, and he's like, it's actually just the volume. You're just using too much toilet paper. Don't use that much. And I call bullshit, because we've lived in this apartment for 2 years, maybe more, 3. I don't fucking know at this point. We've never had this problem before. And also, you can't sit here and tell me that the problem is specifically my unit when all of the units are connected in a line. It can't just be my unit. And I would imagine that if we were doing something wrong, it would be a constant problem rather than popping up in just the last 2 or 3 months. But I'm also pissed because I'm a good tenant. I take care of my shit. They left a fucking hole in my wall. I didn't ask them to fix it. I didn't ask them to patch it. I didn't ask them to get a cleaning crew in here. I fixed it myself. And even when we first moved in, I fixed the caulking around the bathtub by myself. I fixed the crack in the enamel of the bathtub by myself. I fixed the baseboards in the bedroom by myself. That's all shit that a landlord should have taken care of, and I took care of it. So the fact that they're coming at me with this attitude of like, you're the problem, you're the issue, and I have the text, I don't think I'm gonna show them because like, that's kind of fucky, but like, it was just the attitude. And also, like, I try to be very kind and respectful and nice, not just to my landlords because, oh, they own the property, whatever, but just because they're people. So I'm trying to be nice because they're people. And I understand that they're going through some shit right now. I'm going through some shit right now. 3 days ago, I had an asthma attack and thought I was gonna die. But I remained diplomatic and kind. And I understand you're having a bad day. I'm not gonna make it worse. I'm gonna try not to make it worse. But also, you don't have to ream me about it. It's an old building, it's old pipes, it's old plumbing, blah, blah, blah. It's like, all right, why didn't you have it updated when you bought the fucking house? I'm a tenant. I don't deserve to be scolded like I'm a 10-year-old. I'm a fucking adult. I've lived here for 2 years. We've never had a problem until now. So I had a whole thing about how, like, moral of the story, you know, get your plumbing and electrical checked out before you buy a property and read reviews on plumbing services, blah, blah, blah. All that shit doesn't matter anymore. My new moral of the story, number one, I gotta find a new place to live because I cannot recover in this environment. Not even just like the hazards of having raw sewage in my house while I'm recovering from lung issues, but also the added stress of this whole fucking situation. Even just today, like our toilet has been stopped up for 3 days. Even just trying to get that fixed has been like pulling fucking teeth. And I've been nothing but nice about it. And all I've gotten in return is just bullshit comment after bullshit comment after bullshit comment. So I'm done. I need to be somewhere else because I cannot heal here anymore. Moral of the story number 2, if you want to be a property management person, you want to own property, you want to rent it out to somebody, if your tenants have to reach out to somebody and you don't want to be that somebody, hire somebody or have a website. Or both. Is it going to cut into your money that you make off your property? Yeah, it sure fucking is. If you need that barrier between you and your tenants, have it. And that's fine. Third moral of the story, if you have good tenants, please don't piss them off. Because barring this whole other fucking situation, if you want to keep a good tenant, you have to be a good landlord. That's fucking it, guys. This has been a whole ordeal, and I still don't even know if it's fixed. We've been dealing with this since May 24th now, and it's July 5th. So I don't know if it's fixed. I might have another update here in a week. Who fucking knows? But yeah, I'm upset. People are allowed to have off days, and I can forgive them for that, and that's fine. It does make me very disillusioned with my current situation. So anyways, I'm sorry for being such a downer so quickly. I love you guys. Stay cool, stay cubed. And I will see you in the next one. Mwah. Toodles.